I have the pleasure of having been joined by Magnus Brännström, the CEO of Oriflame. We're going to talk a bit about the importance of the frontier market for Oriflame and what you see the development there.
Well, it's a pleasure being here, and this is one of my favorite topics. I think that as a CEO of Oriflame, you really have to love being out in the global space, and as a global traveler, you also see that the world is growing, and it's growing fast, and the things that are growing fastest are the emerging world, or the frontier markets in Latin America, in Africa, as well, of course, in Asia, which one, so to speak, cannot forget. And we have taken a strategic decision to be in these markets because we believe long-term that these will provide us with fantastic growth opportunities, but also because we want to participate in this part of the world, because if you really want to make a difference, you have to be in the areas where most of the people live, and no doubt that most of the people live out in Asia and as well as Africa. I think that it is a lot of people, and they are on the move. They really want something. They're hungry and they're eager. They're curious, which also makes our own energy come alive. And it is really exciting to be working in these markets.
One of the key investment themes for us as well in the frontier market world is also the use of new technology and the embracing of mobile broadband and including much more people into the GDP of a country. How do you work with new technologies in these markets, and do you see these things changing quickly as well?
Absolutely. I think it is. There's no doubt that one of the reasons why these countries are growing so fast is their incredibly fast adaptation to the new technology and embracing and really wanting to use it, which becomes also almost confusing, because at the same time you might be working in a country with infrastructure that reminds you about Sweden in the 30s, 40s, or 50s, while in some other aspects you're working with Sweden of tomorrow, and I think this is very interesting. I think that especially in some of the Asian markets where there's a young population, and young people tend to embrace new things faster, and this new young generation are adapting to the new, not just the internet world, but actually the mobile internet world in a much faster way than I have ever thought, and it really impacts our business. And some of the things that we do using new technology in our business are launched first in that part of the world because the demand is much stronger there than at home. And I think that's very exciting. It also shows the fact that you have to really drive the business you're having in our case, for example, in our major markets where we think we are developing fast, but where we are also trying to innovate our own business. That innovation cannot sit in our old markets for too long. We have to bring that innovation as fast as we can to the new markets, because if we don't do that ourselves, our competitors will.
Oriflame is really seeing a lot of change at the moment and seeing a lot of development in new markets. Could you tell us a bit more about what markets that are really contributing to the change at the moment, and any positive surprises that you have seen recently?
Over the last 3-4 years, we have seen a shift in our, so to speak, country portfolio, where the countries in Latin America, in Africa and Asia are developing faster than in the past, especially in relationship to the Eastern European business that has been growing for so many years. I think the surprises are primarily then maybe that things are maybe not the surprise that it is going well, because if you just look at our business, we are very dependent on how many people live in the market, and the more people living there, the better success. I think that the surprise has been maybe some of the smaller markets developing very fast in North Africa, where at first glance you would think that they have either no money or there are not enough people. But we've had tremendous success in countries like Egypt and Morocco and now Algeria and Tunisia, which I think is a little bit, gives also perspectives on the rest of the world, that there's a lot more opportunities out there than one would maybe expect.
You just recently opened up an office and an operation in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. Can you tell a bit more about that, and also if there are any other areas that you're looking at, especially at the moment, for further openings?
Well, for us, Nigeria is a step into further developing into Africa. I think that's, I said, we have had a tremendous success in Northern Africa, but nevertheless the bigger countries gives bigger opportunities. And after the tremendous success we've seen now in India, in Indonesia and China, of course we have said to ourselves that the limited resources we have, because on a worldwide scope we are not a large company, we are fairly small still, even though one would call us maybe mid-size. And therefore we need to focus our resources on the big countries. And therefore Nigeria is the largest country in Africa. It has a potential opportunity going forward. There's a lot of change going on. There's a major capital with well, actually the capital is not so major, but Lagos as a city is a tremendous business center where a lot of people are accumulated in a small area, which fits our business. So in that sense, I think that Nigeria has all of the credentials that makes a good direct selling and a good beauty business as well. On top of that, I would like to add that we also see that the development of these new markets are going faster, and they are adopting to new technology. They are doing a lot of things that one maybe wouldn't expect, and therefore it's important to be there early on. And if we are now successful in Nigeria as well, I think we'll be moving faster into other African markets. Then of course we're looking a lot in Asia. We are in India, we're in Indonesia, we are in China, we are in Thailand, we are in Vietnam. And of course both Thailand and Vietnam should not be underestimated. They are very large countries. We have just gone into Myanmar last year. It's a very large country, but with a very poor population. And unfortunately, I don't think we can see any fast development there. But we're also looking at Laos, we're looking at Cambodia, and of course Malaysia and the Philippines, even though I would say that even though one would from a distance look at those as also potential emerging markets, in the direct selling industry, Malaysia is one of the most competitive markets on the planet. It seems like every Malaysian wants to be in direct selling, and therefore it's a very tough market. So once we go there, we have to be very good and a solid focus on Malaysia. On the other hand, we have a great business in Indonesia, and since Indonesia and Malaysia has similarities, I think that will be the next movement from Indonesia.